Dear sisters and brothers, Namaskar ji. Last few days we have been reading, at least for 1 week, diaries of Puji Babaji Maharaj. They're very interesting ones. And when we recollect, we understand that Babaji was not made a preceptor at all by Lalaji Maharaj. Somewhere in 1944 only, orders started descending to begin the work as a master. So many personalities they communicate with him, so many elder saints also, they merged in him. He was a great magnet of receiving grace and mergers from multitudes of paths. For example, Guru Nanak Sahab, Kabir Pant, Dadu, all these great saints from various systems would hand over their responsibilities and say, okay, we are vacating, now you take over our sansthanas and look after them. On many such occasions, his Guru Bhai, who was Babuji's preceptor, was also seated beside Babuji and writing all those messages. Naturally, one would feel that, I am a preceptor of Babuji Maharaj. Why is he not communicating with me? See, because you think as a preceptor you are better than your abhyasi. So this idea came to him. Then how is it that I am bereft of your bounty? How is it that all these elder saints are not merging in me and they are merging in Babuji, Babu Ramchandra? So Lalaji Maharaj tells him, please do not consider me as a miserly person. I have given enough to everyone as per their due deservingness and their capacities. Though many of our abhyasis, associates rather, they used to address them as associates, they are in the system for many, many years. Then he gives an example of himself. Look at yourself. The moment I pour something in you, it is destroyed because of your habits. And there he enumerates few of defects of Babuji's preceptors and tells him, look, Babuji or Ramchandra is so and so, quality-wise. He is so polite, he is so simple, he is always open, he is so loving, he has never asked for anything. All the troubles and miseries in his life, he goes through very, without any complaints. But look at yourself. Okay? I give something to Ramchandra and you are reminding me that you are giving him and not you. So it's unbecoming. Secondly, when you converse with others and when they don't agree with you, you get upset and you think he has become your enemy. Per contra, when you like someone, you go all out and shower your love without knowing the deservingness of the other person. You have a dirty habit of reading newspapers, analyzing every news that is there, and start shouting in the room even when nobody is in the room. You have a temper. You become irritable on moment's notice. You must smoothen your way of conversation. You have been eating meat all your life. That is a big disadvantage. So these are some of the hints indirectly given which we all can learn from such teachings directly given to Babu Madan Mohan Lal, Babuji's preceptor. And the praises that he is showering on Babuji Maharaj, you are so, which I have already shared with you, his good qualities. So it is our time now also for us to analyze and see where have we gone wrong so far, what are our defects, what can we correct in ourselves immediately. There are many mistakes which would take time, perhaps many defects which would take time for us to all correct properly. But there are many which we can implement right away. For example, practice. Without practice, forget about the whole thing. See? Some abhyasis from Erode who were recently here, and they did a magnificent volunteer work. I was so impressed, I called them home and had dinner with them, chatted with them, talked with them, and one question they had, very important question was, is practice important or service or volunteer work important? Because sometimes our messages that we receive from Babuji Maharaj, he says, volunteers receive in plenty. But even to receive, you need to sit down. Isn't it? So you may be volunteering, but if you don't sit properly, with open heart, and thinking that only volunteer work will take care of everything, then it will be a big mistake. We need to serve, no doubt. We have a greater and greater need of volunteers as many ashrams are propagating everywhere. Many centers are opening up, many heartfulness centers are also opening up. So we need more and more volunteers. But it should not be at the cost of your personal sadhana. It is the personal sadhana when we receive the gifts from above. They fine-tune us, they fine-tune our mind, they fine-tune our emotions. We get guidance also when we meditate. When we do the cleaning, we clean so many things, including all these koshas and chakras and points. It happens despite of our unawareness. So practice should become a number one thing in our life, number one priority, more than anything else. And then with refined heart and mind, offer services as a volunteer. Then there will be life in those services. Otherwise, services that we would render would be not to the mark, untouched by the refined heart and untouched by the refined mind. Services are compromised. Bringing back again, I would like you all to read those particular messages and especially principles of conversations of Lalaji Maharaj that he enacted for all of us without an exception. How to communicate amongst ourselves. Not just abhyasis, but in our work environment as well. You can easily find this particular article in our magazines or web link that you can find. Type principles of conversation when you visit Sayaj Marg website. Number one poison, according to Lalaji Sahib, is this: irritability and anger to spirituality. All right, enough for the day. Thank you so much.